Ex-CNN host Don Lemon is standing by his words as he's calling Trump supporters dumb effing idiots.
You're so stupid and you deserve it. You deserve it because you're so dumb. Yes, I am gloating over your stupidity. You have been co-opted because you're in a cult and you don't even realize it because you have stupid MAGA brain and you don't get it. How stupid and dumb are you?
'Tis the season to be merry. Former CNN host Don Lemon goes on an expletive-laden rant about President Trump supporters over the H-1B visa feud with Elon Musk. Tiffany Marie Brandon is a political strategist and the host of TMB Problems podcast, and she joins me now. Tiffany, and the left wonders why people say they have Trump derangement syndrome.
Tell me about it. It's completely out of control. I mean, call us stupid and, it's just not even a matter of contention at this point.
But lest you think it's just Mr. Lemon, it's not just sour grapes from that lemon. We have two other folks who are making their voices heard, political commentators on the left, Jennifer Rubin from the Washington Post and Rick Wilson from the Lincoln Project. You know, those people that hate Donald Trump and literally every single thing he does. Take a listen.
All those MAGA readers out there, now you'll notice the contradiction in terms, MAGA readers would pick up the Washington Post and they would have more readers. What is the logical fallacy here? Yes, reader.
The guy with the GED and his fake Oakley sunglasses and his goatee and his pickup truck, the universal Twitter bro, that guy's thinking to himself, oh, well, I could have been the senior software designer at Google if only it weren't for DEI or immigration.
I mean, at this point, Tiffany, will they ever realize that condescension is the reason that they lost in 2024 and the reason they will continue to lose if they don't listen to what is now more than half of the country?
I really think that because of the chokehold that the left has on propaganda press, on fake news, on these massive media houses, they have to boil the right and boil any Trump voter down into a caricature, because that's the only way they can try to maintain some real estate in this new world. We can't be smart and vote conservative. You have to be stupid. And the fact of the matter is they want to make us stupid and then they want to keep us stupid.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I felt that all the time, too. It's like they want to keep us stupid so that the people would just kind of go along with whatever the woke liberal agenda happens to be. You know what I mean, guys? Anyway, call me dumb, call me garbage, but just don't call me a Democrat. And Don Lemon, I know we all know by now that he just doesn't have a career anymore. But it's not just him. Conservative social media users tore into White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre just this week for sharing a picture of the White House communications team. You know what she called it? The best team in the business. Man, they really let her have it for that one. Conservative columnist Tim Young commented on the post, "It takes an army to come up with non-answers and lies." Another Democrat getting some flack online is comedian Bill Maher, but this time it's from his own party. In fact, he recently had an interview with the Wall Street Journal to talk about what he called the crazies within the Democratic Party. What did he say exactly? Well, stay tuned because we're going to get into that a little bit later in this video. But last but not least, California Governor Gavin Newsom. So like Karine Jean-Pierre, Gavin Newsom opened his big fat mouth and people put him in his place. See, he was trying to brag about how he improved the homelessness situation in his state of California. Well, Republican state lawmakers begged to disagree. As State Senator Brian Jones explained it, with a $27 billion investment, Californians rightfully expect the homeless population to decrease. An increase is just simply unacceptable. And under Gavin Newsom, homelessness has skyrocketed nearly 40%. All that So first, there's ex-CNN host Don Lemon. He says that he's standing by his words, calling Trump supporters dumb effing idiots. So this is a second installment to his first rant. In his first one, he was insisting that he had reacted to people who had a racist response to President-elect Donald Trump appointing Tarun Krishnan as a senior advisor on artificial intelligence, but he went on further to attack Trump supporters this time. He said that, as always, everybody gets all butthurt and that he's not referring to all Trump supporters. Instead, he insists that he's just talking to the MAGA brain people who will say anything and do anything to make excuses for any behavior that Donald Trump does, any bad behavior that the MAGA movement does. Then he ended the point by saying, hey, he stands by his words. And if they don't like his words, then too effing bad. He doesn't care. Wow. So you see, guys, it's good to step out of your Democratic echo chamber every now and then. Otherwise, you just kind of end up like old Don Lemon here. No career and saying whatever awful thing that he can just to get people to tune in. You know what I mean? So what are the odds that we're going to see the same thing from White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre once she leaves the White House with her boss, Joe Biden? Now, I would probably put some good money on that one, right, guys? Here she is in a White House press briefing getting called out by a reporter for disrespecting the free press. Watch.
Right behind you, okay?
Thank you. This is related to the situation in the House, but is it the view of the White House that the Gang of Eight has an intelligence Gang of Eight that receives the top level briefings from the executive branch has 8 members, or is the Speaker pro tem, Mr. McHenry, getting the security briefings at the very top level, or are there effectively only 7 members with the Speaker being vacant?
I mean, for one thing, these press briefings, they're a complete waste of time. The press secretary never directly answers any of the questions, and the contempt that she displays toward the journalists is outrageous. But then again, Karine Jean-Pierre, she takes the audacity to a whole new level by sharing a picture of the White House communications team and calling it the best team in the business. So, of course, the internet just kind of let her have it. Even Washington Times columnist Tim Murtaugh, he commented and said that this best team in the business lied to the world about the mentality and the physical fitness of the president and ultimately failed. Their work led to Trump's huge win, which was a complete repudiation of everything that they did in the most important jobs that they'll ever have. Conservative radio host Michael Berry, he went even harder and he called Karine Jean-Pierre and her team dumb and dumber and dumber and even dumber and yet more dumb. And shockingly, even dumber than that. And of course, Fox News columnist David Marcus, he said that he'd put a bag over his head if he were one of those guys. RedState.com writer Bonchi stated that they keep waiting for her to exhibit some semblance of shame, but she doesn't have it in her. I mean, just look at the woman's last year on the job, right? Memorable moments included her igniting a feud with CBS reporter Ed O'Keefe after she refused to answer his query about neurologists from Walter Reed Military Medical Center visiting Joe Biden at the White House several times that year, saying that questioning Biden's inflammatory rhetoric about the then candidate Donald Trump after he was almost assassinated twice was itself incredibly dangerous, and dismissing videos of Biden looking frail as cheap fakes. Basically, take your pick, guys, and you'll see just exactly what this press team is best at. I still remember Barack Obama's words, never underestimate Joe's ability to mess things up. Well, looks like the same can be said about this press team too. Drop a quick yes in the comments down below if you guys agree. Hit the like button to show your support for the channel. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell too. That way you guys won't miss out on future updates like this one. Okay, so from Don Lemon and KJP, we move on to comedian Bill Maher. So this guy has been catching a lot of flack. Flack for what, you might ask? Oh, flack for targeting Democrats more often with his jokes now. People on the left say that he's turned. Bill Maher responds that it's just because Democrats' ideas are stupid. Here, watch.
You know, you were okay with all that, but you've turned.
I haven't turned. Yes, people have said to me, you make fun of the left more than you used to. And guilty, I have, because the left has changed. Now, the right has changed also, and even worse. I mean, the right doesn't believe in democracy anymore. Thrown their lot in with this sociopath named Donald Trump, who only thinks elections count when we win. Okay, well, that's worse. But it's not like the left hasn't changed also. So I'm going to call it out wherever I see it. I mean, there are things that have to do with, you know, gender and race and free speech and just ideas about, you know, you can be healthy at any weight, and gender is always a social construct, and maybe we should give communism another try, and maybe we should get rid of capitalism and the border patrol, and let's tear down statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. Just, you know, no. It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
He even went further in his Wall Street Journal interview about this same topic. When asked why he mocks the left more than he used to, he just said, and I'm not quoting him straight on this one, "You're damn right I do, because you give me more material. I'm a comedian. I'm gonna go where the gold is. I think humor is one of the best avenues to get at the truth, maybe the best, especially in politics. When someone laughs, it is involuntary. So you can make the audience admit that they agree with you even when they really don't want to." And it got even more interesting when the interviewer responded by saying, "But the woke don't always laugh." Maher pointed it out as one of the issues that he has with the left. They can't stand to have to endure a moment of hearing something that they don't agree with. Not that the right doesn't do it too, but the left does it worse. He also brought up the idea of why do people on the left find it impossible to be congenial toward those they disagree with. He said it's in their psychological profile. They just have this need for virtue signaling and to have their friends and everybody on social media think of them as the good people. Wow. Let me tell you guys, this sounds like a lot of people I know. He also made a very good point about Republicans dominating the Democrats in elections as long as the Democratic Party fails to unconvince itself that it is this misunderstood vehicle for what people really want. He said that they often say when they lose elections, "We didn't get our message out." Yes, you did get your message out. They just didn't like your message. You got it out loud and clear. Now, let me tell you guys, when comedians make more sense than the top leaders of your party, you got to start looking in the mirror real hard. You know what I mean? And speaking of delusional Democratic leaders, we got our last name on today's list, California Governor Gavin Newsom. So you see, Gavin Newsom, he's trying to make this big deal out of slowing homelessness in his state, but people aren't having it. State Senator Brian Jones, he called it a bold move for someone eyeing the presidency. Jones said that Newsom should be ashamed of what he's done to their state, but instead, his pride just blinds him. Assembly Republicans also responded to Newsom saying that since their governor is committed to gaslighting on the issue, they'll state the obvious. An increase of 20% is not progress. Now, apparently, like a lot of Democratic leaders, Gavin Newsom hasn't really been listening to the people who disagree with him. For example, Jones, who's the minority leader in their state Senate, cited that the co-sponsored bipartisan legislation to change California's homelessness policies and focus on compassionate enforcement of encampment violations. Now, one of his proposals from his past term, which didn't make it to Newsom's desk, focused on existing state law deeming lodging in a public or even a private place without permission to be disorderly conduct. Now, this bill would have delayed any indictment on that count for 72 hours after first notice and imposed a state-mandated local program for homeless individuals in those situations. Well, it sounds to me like these people are offering some fresh ideas, but Gavin Newsom's just too busy setting up his 2028 presidential run to listen. In a separate statement, Gavin Newsom claims that they have turned the tide on a decades-long increase in homelessness and that they have more work to do. For the governor, their strategies are making a positive difference. Now, I don't know how many of his residents would actually agree with him on this one, but then again, data also showed other large population states like New York, Florida, Illinois, and Texas also suffered a higher growth in unsheltered homelessness than California's, which the governor's office said was under 1%. So yeah, at least there's that, I guess. But after spending all of that money, you got to have something to show for it, right? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on this one, guys. Do these high-profile Democrats all deserve to be called out like they have? Comment down below, guys. Let me know. Let's get a conversation out of this one. And while you're at it, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell for more updates like this sent straight to your device. And speaking of, if you want more hard-hitting takes like this one, then definitely stick around to the end of this video because I have got suggested videos that are about to pop up in just a moment. I definitely think that you guys should check those out right after this one. So as always, appreciate you guys hitting the like button and subscribing. Check out these videos coming up here next, and we'll see you guys next time.